Hi, welcome back to the channel. So it's just a short video today on my small little tiny orange Kubota B1600 tractor. I've just got a few maintenance tasks to do. It's going to come up with some heavy work very shortly with the new plot starting and a lot of fencing on the homestead. If you remember back to a few of those videos ago, we've got those huge posts. They're going to be starting to go into the boundary line to get some fencing to stop Tyson getting out in the summer months when we're away for a few weeks at a time. We have people coming around, of course, but we don't want him to nip over to the cows. And also at the plot, once we get all the boundary lines sorted with the neighbours and everybody's happy, we'll be plugging those straight into the ground. So this little tractor is going to be doing a lot of heavy work. So greasing, oiling, hopefully we'll go through those steps now. So the main task today is to do the greasing and oiling like I just said, but I do have a couple of other issues. As you can see underneath, I've got a bit of a leakage from my coolant system. I don't know whether it was just overflowing because there was too much in there, but I've just checked the overflow container and it's pretty empty. So I've got to look at that. Another one is as I'm driving along, it's losing power, and I've had this before. And I have cleaned out the petrol tank, I've repaired it, there was a few little rust holes, but I'm thinking there's too much rust in there, and as soon as I go over a bump, it disturbs all the rust, gums up and blocks the pipe. So I'll put an airline through there to push it through, but I've got to fix it. I'll show you the fuel filter in a minute and see how dirty it is. But yeah, it's got to be done. So either fill the tank with some sort of polymer, I've done that before on some of my older cars, and to line it so it's all nice and fresh, or try and find another petrol tank, but that may be a bit hard. And the other issue I have, which I think is really just a fluids problem, is my hydraulics take a little time to come into action. So when I'm starting up and I pull on the handle, there's a bit of a delay, so I'm hoping that is just the fluids. I have already done the engine oil change and the filter change, so I'll just check those levels, show you the filter, and it should be good to go. So I've let the engine settle for a good 10 minutes now. So this is the engine level. So it's a bit black, but I know that I only changed it about 30 or 40 hours ago. The oil filter's just at the bottom there. And in a previous video, I'll put a link in the description, you just have to take off this shroud here. There's 4 bolts that take that shroud off, and then that filter down below is easy to get to. So I've hoisted the front loader right up, as you can see. And that's so I can get to all of these little grease nipples. So I'm going to do those first. I'm going to do all the grease nipples first, just so I can put the front loader back down, because at the moment, as you can see, it's blocking my access to the engine to do all my other checks. One of those checks being the fuel filter. And I'm just going to push in until I get a good squid of grease coming out. All the emulsified grease is the old stuff. So the main greasing points are basically on the end of all of these hydraulic rams. So both ends, and then on the second set on both sides. So all of them now have had liberal gunks of grease, so it should be all good. I'm now going to tilt the bucket back, put it right on the ground so I can get into the engine bay. So my next task is to check the transmission fluid, the transmission oil. Again, this is one thing that I've lacked in doing since I've got the machine. So, according to the book, this is the lever just here. So I'm going to check that. Put him in again. It's a bit easier than the engine one. Let's have a look. So, yeah, if you look at that a little bit closer, not a lot of fluid in there whatsoever. So I've got some, and let me go and put it in. So first of all, I'm going to just try and fill it up with some transmission oil here, SC, what is it, 80W90. If I need to, I will take out all of the fluid and replenish. Now that's about 17 litres, so about 100 euros at the moment for a big tub of oil. So to get to it, is it underneath here? That's the filler cap, and it sits right below the seat post. So for the video, I'd probably try and struggle if I wasn't doing this, but I'm just going to take these 4 bolts out, lift the seat post out, and then we can see the filler much more closely. We had to pop out and get some more oil, as I said. 2 litres didn't stack it, but I put another 2 litres in, another 2 litres, and now this is up to 7 litres of oil I've just put in. Now maximum it's 17 litres, so it was pretty low. So instead of these little ones, I had to go and buy this 25 litre drum. So that will cover me for now, and it will also cover me for a complete oil change later in the season. So I'm just doing the last little bit, and I'll check the I'll check it again. Okay, so that is just underneath my mark, which is perfect. It states in the manual not to go over this mark, so I think I'm there. So that is 7.5 litres of oil I've had to put in. So now I'm going to button this up, put the seat back on, and then get it running again. Next job is just to see what the fuel filter's doing. As I said, the tank is a little bit rusty inside, so it's dropping a lot of muck. So it's a lot easier just to remove the side panel, and there's 4 of these little bolts. There's 2 underneath. Just take the panel straight out. It's a bit mucky. So this is the fuel filter. It comes directly from the fuel tank before going into the engine. That's the on-off there. I'm just going to remove this. It looks a bit grubby. Well, I've just taken it off and it doesn't look too bad compared to what it normally does. So I'm thinking there's just a bit of muck in the fuel pipe between the petrol tank and the fuel filter. So I'm just going to get an air hose, blow it back. It's going to make a bit of a splash in the fuel tank, but it'll push all that up and get it, basically unplug it a little bit. Connected the fuel pipe. And I'm just gonna... Right, I'm just putting the fuel filter back in. I had a bit of an issue. I did put the air through the fuel pipe, which unblocked it, and then squirted fuel absolutely everywhere. So now I know it's been emptied. Hold on. Right. That's just screwed back on. A little tweak. There. Just going to put a bit of coolant in, and then I'm going to check once the engine's running to see where the leak's coming from. That should be enough. It's not too bad, the radiator's pretty full. Well, that seems to have gone okay. I had a bit of a mishap in the middle where I took that fuel pipe off and put the air hose through. It suddenly unblocked and squirted me all over with diesel, hence the small bucket of diesel at the end that I was pouring back into the tank. But as you saw, that is so much faster. The up, down, the tilt, absolutely perfect now. So the oil's done. The engine oil and filter's all done. The only things I've got to do is probably the front axle and the two wheel hubs. But I've got the oil for that, and I'll do that at a later day. But I'm pretty happy. Thanks for watching this short video. I hope you got something out of it. Press the subscribe, thumbs up. It always helps the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.
Time to turn the muck heap over and see how well mature and rotten it is underneath. Now Ian's finished doing all his hydraulics, everything's working good.